Welcome back to our ongoing journey through the Bhagavad Gita. In the previous parts, we explored how Lord Krishna guides Arjuna from confusion to clarity, from fear to understanding, and from self-doubt to inner strength. Now, in part 3, we move even deeper into the heart of Krishna's teachings. In these sections of the Gita, Krishna reveals how every action in life has a purpose, how discipline shapes our character, and how true peace comes not from the outside world, but from within. He explains that when we learn to control our mind, our desires, and our emotions, we begin to understand who we truly are. Krishna also teaches Arjuna about the difference between temporary success and eternal wisdom. He reminds us that the world will always change situations, people, challenges, victories, nothing stays the same. But the one who remains stable, patient, and aware of their inner self stays unshaken, no matter what happens. In this part, we will continue to uncover the deeper layers of self-realization, the path of right action, and the power of devotion. These teachings are not just spiritual, they are practical tools for daily life. They help us deal with stress, fear, confusion, and the difficult choices we all face. So take a deep breath, open your heart, and get ready to continue this sacred journey of wisdom. Let the words of Lord Krishna guide you toward clarity, purpose, and inner peace. This is part 3. Arjuna. Lord. Of the men who serve thee true in heart. As God revealed, and of the men who serve. Worshipping the unrevealed, unbodied, far. Which take the better way of faith and life. Krishna. Whoever serve me as I show myself. Constantly true, in full devotion fixed. Those hold I very holy. But who serve? Worshipping me the one, the invisible. The unrevealed, unnamed, unthinkable. Uttermost, all-pervading, highest, sure. Who thus adore me, mastering their sense. Of one set mind to all, glad in all good. These blessed souls come unto me. Yet, hard. The travel is for such as bend their minds. To reach at unmanifest that viewless path. Shall scarce be trod by man bearing the flesh. But whereso any doeth all his deeds. Renouncing self for me, full of me, fixed. To serve only the highest, night and day. Musing on me him will I swiftly lift. Forth from life's ocean of distress and death. Whose soul clings fast to me. Cling thou to me. Clasp me with heart and mind. So shalt thou dwell. Surely with me on high. But if thy thought droops from such height, if thou be sent weak to set body and soul upon me constantly. Despair not. Give me lower service. Seek to reach me, worshipping with steadfast will. And if thou canst not worship steadfastly, work for me, toil in works pleasing to me. For he that laboureth right for love of me shall finally attain. But if in this thy faint heart fails, bring me thy failure. Find refuge in me. Let fruits of labour go. Renouncing hope for me, with lowliest heart. So shalt thou come, for, though to know is more than diligence, yet worship better is than knowing, and renouncing better still. Near to renunciation very near. Dwelleth eternal peace. Who hateth not of all which lives, living himself benign. Compassionate, from arrogance exempt. Exempt from love of self, unchangeable. By good or ill, patient, contented, firm. In faith, mastering himself, true to his word. Seeking me, heart and soul, vowed unto me, dash. That man I love. Who troubleth not his kind. And is not troubled by them, clear of wrath. Living too high for gladness, grief, or fear. That man I love. Who, dwelling quiet-eyed, FN number 25. Stainless, serene, well-balanced, unperplexed. Working with me, yet from all works detached. That man I love. Who, fixed in faith on me, dotes upon none, scorns none, rejoices not. And grieves not, letting good or evil hap. Light when it will, and when it will depart. That man I love. Who, unto friend and foe, keeping an equal heart, with equal mind, bears shame and glory, with an equal peace. Takes heat and cold, pleasure and pain, abides. quit of desires, hears praise or calumny. In passionless restraint, unmoved by each. Linked by no ties to earth, steadfast in me. That man I love. But most of all I love those happy ones to whom 'tis life to live. In single fervid faith and love unseeing. Drinking the blessed Amrit of my being. Chapter 13. Arjuna. Now would I hear, O gracious Kesava, of life which seems, and soul beyond which sees. And what it is we know or think to know. Krishna. Yea, son of Kunti. For this flesh ye see. Is Kshetra, is the field where life disports. And that which views and knows it is the soul. Kshetrajana. In all fields, thou Indian prince. I am Kshetrajana. I am what surveys. Only that knowledge knows which knows the known. By the knower. What it is, that field of life. What qualities it hath, and whence it is. And why it changeth, and the faculty. That wotteth it, the mightiness of this. And how it wotteth hear these things from me. The elements, the conscious life, the mind. The unseen vital force, the 9 strange gates. Of the body, and the 5 domains of sense. Desire, dislike, pleasure and pain, and thought. Deep woven, and persistency of being. These all are wrought on matter by the soul. Humbleness, truthfulness, and harmlessness. Patience and honor, reverence for the wise. Purity, constancy, control of self. Contempt of sense delights, self-sacrifice. Perception of the certitude of ill. In birth, death, age, disease, suffering, and sin. Detachment, lightly holding unto home. Children, and wife, and all that bindate men. An ever-tranquil heart in fortune's good. And fortune's evil, with a will set firm. To worship me only. Ceasing not. Loving all solitudes, and shunning noise. Of foolish crowds, endeavors resolute. To reach perception of the utmost soul. And grace to understand what gain it were. So to attain, this is true wisdom, prince. And what is otherwise is ignorance. Now will I speak of knowledge best to know. That truth which giveth man Amrit to drink. The truth of him, the Parabrahm, the All. The uncreated, not Asat, not Sat. Not form, nor the unformed, yet both, and more, whose hands are everywhere, and everywhere. Planted his feet, and everywhere his eyes. Beholding, and his ears in every place. Hearing, and all his faces everywhere. Enlightening and encompassing his words. Glorified in the senses he hath given. Yet beyond sense he is, sustaining all. Yet dwells he unattached, of forms and modes. Master, yet neither form nor mode hath he. He is within all beings and without. Motionless, yet still moving, not discerned. For subtlety of instant presence, close. To all, to each, yet measurelessly far. Not manifold, and yet subsisting still. In all which lives, for ever to be known. As the sustainer, yet, at the end of times. He maketh all to end and recreates. The light of lights he is, in the heart of the dark. Shining eternally. Wisdom he is. And wisdom's way, and guide of all the wise. Planted in every heart, so have I told. Of life's stuff, and the moulding, and the lore. To comprehend. Whoso, adoring me, perceiveth this, shall surely come to me. Know thou that nature and the spirit both have no beginning. Know that qualities and changes of them are by nature wrought. That nature puts to work the acting frame. But spirit doth inform it, and so cause feeling of pain and pleasure. Spirit linked to moulded matter, entereth into bond with qualities by nature framed, and thus married to matter, breeds the birth again. In good or evil yonis. FN number 29. Yet is this. Yea, in its bodily prison, spirit pure. Spirit supreme, surveying, governing. Guarding, possessing, Lord and Master still. Purusha, ultimate, one soul with me. Whoso thus knows himself, and knows his soul. Purusha, working through the qualities. With nature's modes, the light hath come for him. Whatever flesh he bears, never again shall he take on its load. Some few there be, by meditation find the soul in self, self-schooled, and some by long philosophy and holy life reach thither, some by works. Some, never so attaining, hear of light from other lips and sees and cleave to it, worshipping, yea, and those to teaching through, overpass death. Wherever, Indian prince, life is of moving things, or things unmoved. Plant or still seed know, what is there hath grown. By bond of matter and of spirit, no. He sees indeed who sees in all alike. The living, lordly soul, the soul supreme, imperishable amid the perishing. For, whoso thus beholds, in every place, in every form, the same, one, living life, doth no more wrongfulness unto himself, but goes the highest road which brings to bliss. Seeing, he sees, indeed, who sees that works are nature's wont for soul to practice by. Acting, yet not the agent, sees the mass of separate living things each of its kind issue from one and blend again to one. Then hath he Brahma, he attains, O Prince, that ultimate, high spirit, uncreate, unqualified, even when it entereth flesh, taketh no stain of acts, worketh in naught, like to the ethereal air, pervading all, which, for sheer subtlety, avoideth taint. The subtle soul sits everywhere, unstained, like to the light of the all-piercing sun, which is not changed by aught it shines upon. The soul's light shineth pure in every place, and they who, by such eye of wisdom, see how matter, and what deals with it, divide, and how the spirit and the flesh have strife, those wise ones go the way which leads to life. Here ends chapter 13 of the Bhagavad Gita, entitled Kshetra-kshetrajna Vibhagyog, or the Book of Religion by Separation of Matter and Spirit. Chapter 14. Krishna. Yet farther will I open unto thee this wisdom of all wisdoms uttermost, the which possessing all my saints have passed to perfectness on such high verities, reliant, rising into fellowship with me, they are not born again at birth of kalpas, nor at pralyas suffer change. This universe, the womb, is where I plant seed of all lives. Thence, Prince of India, comes birth to all beings. Whoso, Kunti's son, mothers each mortal form, Brahma conceives, and I am he that fathers, sending seed. Sattvan, Rajas, and Tamas, so are named the qualities of nature, soothfastness, passion, and ignorance. These three bind down the changeless spirit in the changeful flesh, whereof sweet soothfastness, by purity, living unsullied and enlightened, binds the sinless soul to happiness and truth, and passion, being kin to appetite, and breeding impulse and propensity, binds the embodied soul, O Kunti's son, by tie of works. But ignorance, begot of darkness, blinding mortal men, binds down their souls to stupor, sloth, and drowsiness. Yea, Prince of India, soothfastness binds souls in pleasant wise to flesh, and passion binds by toilsome strain, but ignorance, which blots the beams of wisdom, binds the soul to sloth. Passion and ignorance, once overcome, leave soothfastness, O Bharat. Where this with ignorance are absent, passion rules, and ignorance in hearts not good nor quick. When at all gateways of the body shines the lamp of knowledge, then may one see well. Soothfastness settled in that city reigns, where longing is, and ardor, and unrest, impulse to strive and gain, and avarice. Those spring from passion, prince, dash, ingrained, and where darkness and dullness, sloth and stupor are. This ignorance hath caused them, Kuru chief. Moreover, when a soul departeth, fixed in soothfastness, it goeth to the place perfect and pure of those that know all truth. If it departeth in set habitude of impulse, it shall pass into the world of spirits tied to works, and if it dies in hardened ignorance, that blinded soul is born anew in some unlighted womb. The fruit of soothfastness is true and sweet. The fruit of lusts is pain and toil, the fruit of ignorance is deeper darkness. Yea, for light brings light, and passion ache to have, and gloom, bewilderments, and ignorance grow forth from ignorance. Those of the first rise ever higher, those of the second mode take a mid-place, the darkened souls sink back to lower deeps loaded with witlessness. When, watching life, the living man perceives the only actors are the qualities, and knows what rules beyond the qualities, then is he come nigh unto me, the soul, thus passing forth from the three qualities, whereby arise all bodies overcomes birth, death, sorrow, and age, and drinketh deep the undying wine of Amrit. Arjuna, O my Lord, which be the signs to know him that hath gone past the three modes? How leaveth he? What way leadeth him safe beyond the threefold modes? Krishna, he who with equanimity surveys luster of goodness, strife of passion, sloth of ignorance, not angry if they are, not wishful when they are not, he who sits a sojourner and stranger in their midst, unruffled, standing off, saying serene, when troubles break, these be the qualities. He unto whom self-centered grief and joy sound as one word, to whose deep-seeing eyes the clod, the marble, and the gold are one, whose equal heart holds the same gentleness for lovely and unlovely things, firm set, well pleased in praise and dispraise, satisfied with honor or dishonor, unto friends and unto foes alike in tolerance, detached from undertakings, he is named surmounter of the qualities, and such, with single, fervent faith adoring me, passing beyond the qualities, conforms to Brahma and attains me. For I am that whereof Brahma is the likeness. Mine the Amrit is, and immortality is mine, and mine perfect felicity. Here ends chapter 14 of the Bhagavad Gita, entitled Gunatraya Vibhagyog, or the Book of Religion by Separation from the Qualities. Chapter 15. Krishna. Men call the Aswatha, the banyan tree, which hath its boughs beneath, its roots above, the ever-holy tree. Yea, for its leaves are green and waving hymns which whisper truth. Who knows the Aswatha, knows Veds, and all its branches shoot to heaven and sink to earth, FN number 30. Even as the deeds of men, which take their birth from qualities, its silver sprays and blooms, and all the eager verdure of its girth leap to quick life at kiss of sun and air, as men's lives quicken to the temptings fair of wooing sense, its hanging rootlets seek the soil beneath, helping to hold it there, as actions wrought amid this world of men bind them by ever-tightening bonds again. If ye knew well the teaching of the tree, what its shape sight, and whence it springs, and then how it must end, and all the ills of it, the axe of sharp detachment ye would whet, and cleave the clinging snaky roots, and lay this Aswatha of sense life low, to set new growths upspringing to that happier sky, which they who reach shall have no day to die, nor fade away, nor fall to him, I mean, Father and first, who made the mystery of old creation, for to him come they, from passion and from dreams who break away, who part the bonds constraining them to flesh, and him, the highest, worshipping all we, no longer grow at mercy of what breeze of summer pleasure stirs the sleeping trees, what blast of tempest tears them, bough and stem. To the eternal world pass such as these. Another sun gleams there, another moon, another light, not dusk, nor dawn, nor noon, which they who once behold return no more. They have attained my rest, life's utmost boon. When, in this world of manifested life, the undying spirit, setting forth from me, taketh on form, it draweth to itself, from being's storehouse, which containeth all, senses and intellect, the sovereign soul, thus entering the flesh or quitting it, gathers these up, as the wind gathers scents, blowing above the flower beds. Ear and eye, and touch and taste, and smelling, these it takes, dash. Yea, and a sentient mind, dash, linking itself to sense things so. The unenlightened ones mark not that spirit when he goes or comes, nor when he takes his pleasure in the form conjoined with qualities, but those see plain, who have the eyes to see. Holy souls see, which strive thereto. Enlightened, they perceive that spirit in themselves, but foolish ones, even though they strive, discern not, having hearts unkindled, ill-informed. Know, too, from me shineth the gathered glory of the suns, which lighten all the world. From me the moons draw silvery beams, and fire fierce loveliness. I penetrate the clay, and lend all shapes their living force. I glide into the plant, root, leaf, and bloom to make the woodlands green with springing sap, becoming vital warmth. I glow in glad, respiring frames, and pass with outward and with inward breath to feed the body by all means. For in this world, being is twofold, the divided one, the undivided one. All things that live are the divided, that which sits apart, the undivided. Higher still is he, the highest, holding all, whose name is Lord, the eternal, sovereign, first, who fills all worlds, sustaining them, and dwelling thus beyond divided being and undivided I am called of men and Vedas, life supreme, the Purushottama, who knows me thus, with mind unclouded, knoweth all, dear Prince, and with his whole soul ever worshipeth me. Now is the sacred, secret mystery declared to thee. Who comprehendeth this hath wisdom. He is quit of works in bliss. Here ends chapter 15 of the Bhagavad Gita, entitled Purushottama Prapti Yoga, or the Book of Religion by Attaining the Supreme. Chapter 16. Krishna. Fearlessness, singleness of soul, the will, always to strive for wisdom, opened hand, and governed appetites, and piety, and love of lonely study, humbleness, uprightness, heed to injure not which lives, truthfulness, slowness unto wrath, a mind that lightly letteth go what others prize, and equanimity, and charity, which speaketh no man's faults, and tenderness towards all that suffer, a contented heart, fluttered by no desires, a bearing mild, modest, and grave, with manhood nobly mixed, with patience, fortitude, and purity, an unrevengeful spirit, never given to rate itself too high, dash, such be the signs, O Indian Prince, of him whose feet are set on that fair path which leads to heavenly birth. Deceitfulness, and arrogance, and pride, quickness to anger, harsh and evil speech, and ignorance, to its own darkness blind, dash. These be the signs, my Prince, of him whose birth is fated for the regions of the wild dot. FN number 32. The heavenly birth brings to deliverance. So shouldst thou know. The birth with asuras brings into bondage. Be thou joyous, Prince, whose lot is set apart for heavenly birth. Divine and undivine, I spake to thee. By what marks thou shouldst know the heavenly man? Hear from me now of the unheavenly. They comprehend not the unheavenly. How souls go forth from me, nor how they come back unto me, nor is there truth in these, nor purity, nor rule of life. This world hath not a law, nor order, nor a lord. So say they, nor hath risen up by cause, following on cause, in perfect purposing, but is none other than a house of lust. And this thing thinking, all those ruined ones, of little wit, dark-minded give themselves to evil deeds, the curses of their kind, surrendered to desires insatiable, full of deceitfulness, folly, and pride. In blindness cleaving to their errors, caught into the sinful course, they trust this lie, as it were true, this lie which leads to death, finding in pleasure all the good which is, and crying hear it finisheth. Ensnared in nooses of 100 idle hopes. Slaves to their passion and their wrath, they buy wealth with base deeds to glut hot appetites. Thus much, today, they say, we gained thereby. Such and such wish of heart shall have its fill. And this is ours. And yet other shall be ours. Today we slew a foe, and we will slay our other enemy tomorrow. Look, are we not lords? Make we not goodly cheer? Is not our fortune famous, brave, and great? Rich are we, proudly born. What other men live like to us? Kill, then, for sacrifice. Cast larges, and be merry. So they speak, darkened by ignorance, and so they fall. Tossed to and fro with projects, tricked and bound. In net of black delusion, lost in lusts. Down to foul narca. Conceited, fond. Stubborn and proud, dead drunken with the wine of wealth, and reckless, all their offerings. Have but a show of reverence, being not made in piety of ancient faith. Thus vowed to selfhood, force, insolence, feasting, wrath. These my blasphemers, in the forms they wear, and in the forms they breed, my foemen are. Hateful and hating, cruel, evil, vile. Lowest and least of men, whom I cast down. Again, and yet again, at end of lives. Into some devilish womb, whence birth by birth. The devilish wombs respawn them, all beguiled. And ill they find and worship me, sweet prince. Tread they that nether road. The doors of hell are threefold, whereby men to ruin pass, dash. The door of lust, the door of wrath, the door of avarice. Let a man shun those three. He who shall turn aside from entering all those three gates of Narak wendeth straight to find his peace, and comes to Swarga's gate. Chapter 17. Arjuna. If men forsake the holy ordinance, heedless of Shastras, yet keep faith at heart, and worship, what shall be the state of those? Great Krishna. Sattvaൻ Rajas Tamas. Say, Krishna. Threefold the faith is of mankind and springs from those three qualities, dash becoming true, or passion-stained, or dark, as thou shalt hear. The faith of each believer, Indian prince, conforms itself to what he truly is. Where thou shalt see a worshipper, that one to what he worships lives assimilate. Such as the shrine, so is the votary. The soothfast souls adore true gods, the souls obeying Rajas worship Rakshasas, or Yakshas, and the men of darkness pray to Prethas and to Bhutas. Yea, and those who practice bitter penance, not enjoined by rightful rule penance which hath its root in self-sufficient, proud hypocrisies. Those men, passion-beset, violent, wild, torturing the witless ones my elements, shut in fair company within there, nay, me myself, present within the flesh. Know them to devils devoted, not to heaven. For like as foods are threefold for mankind, in nourishing, so is their threefold way of worship, abstinence, and almsgiving. Hear this of me. There is a food which brings force, substance, strength, and health, and joy to live, being well-seasoned, cordial, comforting. The soothfast meat. And there be foods which bring aches and unrests, and burning blood, and grief, being too biting, heating, salt, and sharp, and therefore craved by too strong appetite. And there is foul food kept from overnight, FN number 36. Savorless, filthy, which the fowl will eat. A feast of rottenness, meat for the lips of such as love the darkness. Thus with rites, dash. A sacrifice not for rewardment made, offered in rightful wise, when he who woes sigheth with heart devout, this I should do, is soothfast right. But sacrifice for gain, offered for good repute, be sure that this, O best of Bharats, is Rajas right, with stamp of passion, and a sacrifice, offered against the laws, with no due dole, of food giving, with no accompaniment, of hallowed hymn, nor largesse to the priests. In faithless celebration, call it vile. The deed of darkness. Lost. Worship of gods. Meriting worship, lowly reverence. Of twice-borns, teachers, elders, purity. Rectitude, and the brahmacharya's vow. And not to injure any helpless thing, dash. These make a true religiousness of act. Words causing no man woe, words ever true. Gentle and pleasing words, and those ye say. In murmured reading of a sacred writ, dash. These make the true religiousness of speech. Serenity of soul, benignity. Sway of the silent spirit, constant stress. To sanctify the nature, dash, these things make. Good right, and true religiousness of mind. Such threefold faith, in highest piety, kept with no hope of gain, by hearts devote, is perfect work of Sattvavan, true belief. Religion shown in act of proud display. To win good entertainment, worship, fame. Such say eyes of Rajas, rash and vain. Religion followed by a witless will. To torture self, or come at power to hurt another, dash, this of tamas, dark and ill. The gift lovingly given, when one shall say, now must I gladly give, when he who takes can render nothing back, made in due place, due time, and to a meet recipient, is gift of Sattvavan, fair and profitable. The gift selfishly given, where to receive, is hoped again, or when some end is sought, or where the gift is proffered with a grudge. This is of Rajas, stained with impulse, ill. The gift churlishly flung, at evil time, in wrongful place, to base recipient, made in disdain or harsh unkindliness, is gift of tamas, dark, it doth not bless, FN number 37. Here ENDETH chapter 17 of the Bhagavad Gita, entitled Shraddhatre Vibhagyog, or the Book of Religion by the Threefold Kinds of Faith. Chapter 18. Arjuna. Fain would I better know, thou glorious one, the very truth heart's Lord, dash, of sannyas, abstention and enunciation, Lord, Tyaga, and what separates these twain. Krishna. The poets rightly teach that sannyas is the foregoing of all acts which spring out of desire, and their wisest say, Tyaga is renouncing fruit of acts. There be among the saints some who have held all action sinful, and to be renounced, and some who answer, nay, the goodly acts, as worship, penance, alms must be performed. Hear now my sentence, best of Bharats. 'Tis well set forth, O chaser of thy foes. Renunciation is of threefold form, and worship, penance, alms, not to be stayed, nay, to be gladly done, for all those three are purifying waters for true souls, yet must be practiced even those high works, in yielding up attachment and all fruit produced by works. This is my judgment, Prince. This my insuperable and fixed decree. Abstaining from a work by right prescribed never is meet. So to abstain doth spring from darkness, and delusion teacheth it. Abstaining from a work grievous to flesh, when one sight is unpleasing, this is null. Such an one acts from passion, not of gain, wins his renunciation. But Arjun, abstaining from attachment to the work, abstaining from rewardment in the work, while yet one doeth it full faithfully, saying, 'tis right to do, that is true act, and abstinence, who doeth duties so, unvexed if his work fail, if it succeed, unflattered, in his own heart justified, quit of debates and doubts, his is true act. For, being in the body, none may stand wholly aloof from act, yet who abstains from profit of his acts is abstinent. The fruit of labors, in the lives to come, is threefold for all men, dash, desirable and undesirable, and mixed of both. But no fruit is at all where no work was. Hear from me, long-armed Lord, the makings 5, which go to every act, in Sankhya taught, as necessary. First the force, and then the agent, next the various instruments. Fourth, the especial effort. Fifth, the God. What work soever any mortal doth, of body, mind, or speech, evil or good, by these 5 doth he that Which being thus? Whoso, for lack of knowledge, seeth himself as the sole actor, knoweth not at all, and seeth not. Therefore, I say, if one, holding aloof from self with unstained mind, should slay all yonder host, being bid to slay, he doth not slay, he is not bound thereby. Knowledge, the thing known, and the mind which knows, these make the threefold starting ground of act. The act, the actor, and the instrument. These make the threefold total of the deed. But knowledge, agent, act are differenced by three dividing qualities. Hear now, which be the qualities dividing them. There is true knowledge. Learn thou it is this: to see one changeless life in all the lives, and in the separate, one inseparable. There is imperfect knowledge, that which sees the separate existences apart, and being separated, holds them real. There is false knowledge, that which blindly clings to one as if 'twere all, seeking no cause. Deprived of light, narrow, and dull, and dark. There is right action, that which being enjoined is wrought without attachment, passionlessly. For duty, not for love, nor hate, nor gain. There is vain action, that which men pursue, aching to satisfy desires, impelled by sense of self, with all-absorbing stress. This is of Rajas passionate and vain. There is dark action, when one doth a thing, heedless of issues, heedless of the heart, or wrong for others, heedless if he harm his own soul. 'Tis of tamas, black and bad. There is the rightful doer, he who acts free from self-seeking, humble, resolute, steadfast, in good or evil hap the same, content to do aright, he truly acts. There is impassioned doer, he that works from impulse, seeking profit, rude and bold, to overcome, unchastened, slave by turns, of sorrow and of joy, of rajas hay. And there be evil doers, loose of heart, low-minded, stubborn, fraudulent, remiss, dull, slow, despondent children of the dark. Here too of intellect and steadfastness, the threefold separation, conqueror prince. How these are set apart by qualities. Good is the intellect which comprehends the coming forth and going back of life. What must be done, and what must not be done. What should be feared, and what should not be feared. What binds and what emancipates the soul. That is of Satyavan, prince. Of soothfastness. Marred is the intellect which, knowing right, and knowing wrong, and what is well to do, and what must not be done, yet understands, not with firm mind, nor as the calm truth is. This is of Rajas, prince. And passionate. Evil is intellect which, wrapped in gloom, looks upon wrong as right, and sees all things contrariwise of truth. O Pritha's son. That is of tamas, dark and desperate. Good is the steadfastness whereby a man masters his beats of heart, his very breath of life, the action of his senses, fixed in never-shaken faith and piety. That is of Satyavan, prince. Soothfast and fair. Stained is the steadfastness whereby a man holds to his duty, purpose, effort, end, for life's sake, and the love of goods to gain. Arjuna. 'Tis of Rajas, passion-stamped. Sad is the steadfastness wherewith the fool cleaves to his sloth, his sorrow, and his fears, his folly and despair. This Pritha's son, dash, is born of tamas, dark and miserable. Here further, chief of Bharats. From me, the threefold kinds of pleasure which there be. Good pleasure is the pleasure that endures, banishing pain for aye, bitter at first, as poison to the soul, but afterward sweet as the taste of Amrit. Drink of that. It springeth in the spirit's deep content, and painful pleasure springeth from the bond between the senses and the sense world. Sweet as Amrit is its first taste, but its last bitter as poison. 'Tis of Rajas, prince. And foul and dark the pleasure is which springs from sloth and sin and foolishness at first, and at the last, and all the way of life. The soul bewildering. 'Tis of tamas, prince. For nothing lives on earth, nor midst the gods. In utmost heaven, but hath its being bound. With these three qualities, by nature framed. The work of Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaisyas, and Sudras, O thou slayer of thy foes, is fixed by reason of the qualities planted in each. A Brahman's virtues, prince. Born of his nature, are serenity, self-mastery, religion, purity, patience, uprightness, learning, and to know the truth of things which be. A Kshatriya's pride. Born of his nature, lives in valor, fire, constancy, skillfulness, spirit in fight, and open-handedness and noble mien, as of a lord of men. A Vaisya's task, born with his nature, is to till the ground, tend cattle, venture trade. A Shudra's state, suiting his nature, is to minister. Whoso performeth diligent, content, the work allotted him, whate'er it be, lays hold of perfectness. Hear how a man findeth perfection, being so content. He findeth it through worship wrought by work. Of him that is the source of all which lives. Of him by whom the universe was stretched. Better thine own work is, though done with fault, than doing others' work, even excellently. He shall not fall in sin who fronts the task. Set him by nature's hand. Let no man leave his natural duty, prince, though it bear blame. For every work hath blame, as every flame is wrapped in smoke. Only that man attains perfect surcease of work whose work was wrought with mind unfettered, soul wholly subdued, desires for ever dead, results renounced. Learn from me, son of Kunti, also this, how one, attaining perfect peace, attains Brahm, the supreme, the highest height of all, devoted with a heart grown pure, restrained in lordly self-control, foregoing wiles of song and senses, freed from love and hate, dwelling mid solitudes, in diet spare, with body, speech, and will tamed to obey, ever to holy meditation vowed, from passions liberate, quit of the self, of arrogance, impatience, anger, pride, freed from surroundings, quite, lacking naught. Such an one grows to oneness with the Brahm. Such an one, growing one with Brahm, serene, sorrows no more, desires no more his soul, equally loving all that lives, loves well me, who have made them, and attains to me. By this same love and worship doth he know me as I am, how high and wonderful, and knowing, straightway enters into me, and whatsoever deeds he doeth fixed in me, as in his refuge he hath won, for ever and for ever by my grace, at eternal rest. So win thou, in thy thoughts, do all thou dost for me, renounce for me, sacrifice heart and mind and will to me, live in the faith of me, in faith of me. All dangers thou shalt vanquish, by my grace. But, trusting to thyself and heeding not, thou canst but perish. If this day thou sayest, relying on thyself, I will not fight, vain will the purpose prove. Thy qualities would spur thee to the war. What thou dost shun, misled by fair illusions, thou wouldst seek against thy will, when the task comes to thee, waking the promptings in thy nature set. There lives a master in the hearts of men, maketh their deeds, by subtle pulling strings, dance to what tune he will. With all thy soul, trust him, and take him for thy succor, prince. So only so, Arjuna, shalt thou gain, by grace of him the uttermost repose, the eternal place. Thus hath been opened thee this truth of truths, the mystery more hid than any secret mystery. Meditate, and as thou wilt then act. Nay, but once more, take my last word, my utmost meaning have. Precious thou art to me, right well beloved. Listen, I tell thee for thy comfort this. Give me thy heart. Adore me. Serve me. Cling in faith and love and reverence to me. So shalt thou come to me. I promise true. For thou art sweet to me. And let go those rights and writ duties. Fly to me alone. Make me thy single refuge. I will free thy soul from all its sins. Be of good cheer. Hide the holy Krishna sight. This from him that hath no faith. Him that worships not, nor seeks wisdom's teaching when she speaks. Hide it from all men who mock. But wherever, mid the flock of my lovers, one shall teach this divinest, wisest speech. Teaching in the faith to bring truth to them, and offering of all honor unto me. Unto Brahma cometh he. Nay, and nowhere shall ye find any man of all mankind doing dearer deed for me. Nor shall any dearer be in my earth. Yea, furthermore, whoso reads this converse o'er, held by us upon the plain, pondering piously and fain, he hath paid me sacrifice. Krishna speaketh in this wise. Yea, and whoso, full of faith, heareth wisely what it saith, heareth meekly, when he dies, surely shall his spirit rise to those regions where the blessed, free of flesh, enjoins rest. Hath this been heard by thee, O Indian prince? With mind intent? Hath all the ignorance which bred thy trouble vanished, my Arjun? Arjuna, trouble and ignorance are gone. The light hath come unto me by thy favor, Lord. Now am I fixed. My doubt is fled away. According to thy word, so will I do. Sanjay. Thus gathered I the gracious speech of Krishna, O my king. Thus have I told, with heart a thrill, this wise and wondrous thing. By great Vyas learning writ, how Krishna's self made known. The yoga being yoga's lord. So is the high truth shown. And I, when I remember, O Lord my king, again, Arjuna and the god in talk, and all this holy strain. Great is my gladness, when I muse that splendor, passing speech of Hari, visible and plain, there is no tongue to reach. My marvel and my love and bliss. O archer prince, all hail. O Krishna, Lord of Yoga, surely there shall not fail blessing and victory and power for thy most mighty sake. Where this song comes of Arjun, and how with God he spake.